Game day's here, I can hear the crowd. Turn on the lights, hands are cranked up and loud. Red or blue, we wear it proud. Yeah, we love our teams in this border town. Chiefs and Royals, Boo Mizzou, Rock Chalk, Jayhawk, KU. Hear that drum pounding in your feet. Yeah, you're marching to the beat of KC.
What is going on, YouTube? What is going on, Kansas City? What is going on, Jayhawk Nation? And what is going on, everybody? And welcome to the Beat of KC. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lucas Murphy, and Rock Chalk, ladies and gentlemen. Holy smokes, what an absolute showing in Louisville, Kentucky against the Louisville Cardinals in KFC Yum Center. Ladies and gentlemen, this Kansas basketball program went in and sent an absolute statement. I mean, they scored 90 points. Granted, they did allow 82, but these were two well-known programs, ranked programs, going head-to-head in an exhibition game. Now, before I get too deep into this video, I want to absolutely say I 100% understand this was an exhibition game, but there was a lot of valuable information, a lot of valuable things that we learned from this game, how we saw certain guys play, the dynamic of this offense, how are guys playing on defense. You know, there's a lot of things that they can learn, but there was so much positivity that I think I'm just excited to really talk about this game. And there's going to be a lot of different ways we can go. The very first thing that I really want to highlight is, holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen, 22. Like, what else needs to be said about freshman Darryn Peterson? The guy had one of the most impressive games. Granted, again, you're going to say, and people are going to say, Lucas, this was an exhibition game. Yes, but the fact that they were going against a Louisville, Kentucky starting roster, he played consistently against their starting competition and was able to do what he did in this entire game, putting up 26 total points, with majority of those coming in the first half. He played roughly 25 minutes. He was 9 from 15 from the floor, 6 from 10 from the three-point arc. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, he was 2 of 5. Yes, that can improve from the free throw line, but I also want to highlight there was a little bit of freshman aspect to him tonight. He did have 6 turnovers. Now, can he improve on that? Yes, that is 100% something he can work on. But the fact that, ladies and gentlemen, this offense has completely changed. In years past, specifically last year, it's almost like the offense was designed to really work high to low, feed the ball down to Hunter Dickinson, and let him go to work. That is completely out the window. This team is completely stretched out. Yes, there are guys down low that can work in Flory Badunga. There are guys that can work down low in Bryson Tiller, who we're going to talk about, and even a chance that Trey White might work down there a little bit too. Even though he's a bigger type of guard, he played a guard position. That's still kind of the fact that this team can spread out and they can work the ball in different directions and really be super dynamic is going to be the biggest change on this offense. I think even heading into this game, Bill Self, you know, in the pregame talked about expectations. He was asked that question, you know, what are your expectations? He was pretty blunt, and he was just like, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what to expect with this team this year. And I really think it's because he's getting out of his element in a way where before they really have had the offensive, you know, scheme of working it down low to a big man. That's not going to be the case, guys. We saw this offense drive the ball to the basket, throw the ball up, and get fouled. And they were able to get to the free throw line. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we shot 33 free throws tonight. We were 26 of 33 from the line. I mean, that's completely different, in my opinion, from years past. Now, diving in a little bit more, I want to talk about, obviously, specific players. And I really think, like, again, I understand this was an exhibition game, but there is so much to be drawn from this. Flory Badunga, ladies and gentlemen, 22 minutes, roughly 23 minutes. He was 6 of 7 from the floor, and he had 2 of 3 from the free throw line. He did have 6 total rebounds. He was, you know, in foul trouble for a lot of the game. And I think that was a big part. And that's something that I kind of wanted to see how he handled that. And has he improved on that? And obviously that was still an issue tonight. He did have 5 fouls. And how did they respond to that? Well, we were able to see a lot of Bryson Tiller, and I think we'll talk a little bit about that, obviously. Bryson Tiller, ladies and gentlemen, I'm thoroughly impressed. I am absolutely impressed with Bryson Tiller. I wish he could have been healthy, but at the same time, he's also going to be able to continue his growth. He's been with the program for, the portion that he was with last year to now, and now we're seeing him get onto the basketball court, and ladies and gentlemen, holy smokes, what an impressive performance. Again, I understand it's an exhibition game. He's got to continue to build upon that momentum that he was able to perform out there, and we'll talk a little bit more about him here in a little bit. But Flory obviously was a plus 17. I think that's significant. I think even though he was in foul trouble, he really put up 14 total points. I mean, the fact that he was a huge contributor and was able to kind of see a little bit more versatility, a little bit more athleticism from Flory. He wasn't, again, just focusing on that down low, really kind of banging down in the paint. He was out, he obviously didn't shoot any threes, and that's not his game, but he was able to get off ball screens. He was able to be a lot more athletic and be a big man that is hard to cover. Now, Trey White, and that's a player, I should say, that Bill Self is very, very high on, even talked very highly of him at the Big 12 Media Days. He did play roughly 26 minutes, a little over 26 minutes. He was 5 of 8 from the floor. He did go 2 of 3 from the three-point line, and he was 2 of 3 from the free throw line. He did have 3 total rebounds. I would expect a little bit more rebounding from him, even though he did play kind of the guard position a little bit at times, a little bit of forward. He did have 4 fouls and did total 14 points. He had 3 assists. And before I get way too into this video, defense was questionable. And that's something I really think Bill Self is going to focus on when he goes back and they start watching film and they start discussing this. I really think defense is going to be something that Bill Self hits on extremely hard because that's what he really focuses on. Defense is so important, obviously in college basketball, but it's even more important, it seems like, to Bill Self. When he even recruits guys, he's really looking at how is their defensive prowess? What kind of defensive tactics do they have? Are they pretty solid at stealing the basketball, getting defensive rebounds, playing good, solid defense against good opponents? And so I really think he's going to hit on making improvements on the defensive side of the ball. Now, continuing with Trey White, he did have 3 assists, like I stated, 4 turnovers. He was a -6, though, according to the box score, which is interesting. Now, Cole Rosario, a guy I really kind of hyped up before this game. I still expect a ton out of Cole, but I think he really just kind of got the freshman lights brought onto him tonight. Obviously, they were on the road, and, it's his first time playing college basketball, and he was out there on the floor. He really did not contribute a whole lot. He was 0 for 4 from the floor. He did go 0 for 3 from the three-point line. He did have 1 rebound, 1 foul, but he did not contribute any points. And he roughly played about 20 minutes, which is kind of where I predicted. He was a -3 on the box score, but it'll be interesting to kind of see the growth of Cole Rosario. Now, he did start in this game, but Marco Jackson, who we're going to talk about next, really played a ton of minutes. Obviously got injured last year, is really kind of building momentum and really had a phenomenal game and played roughly 27 minutes, was 1 of 2 from the floor, but he did go to the line and shot 9 of 9 from the free throw line and scored 11 points. Now, he did have 5 fouls, and so this team really fouled a lot, and in a total of 29 fouls, although they did draw 29 fouls, it's still, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that this team was kind of in foul trouble with some of their key players. Marco, obviously, like I stated, had 5. He would come out even on the plus or minus, but Marco really kind of impressed me, and I could even see Marco potentially in the future starting over a guy like Cole Rosario. This video is sponsored by DM Law. If you've been injured in an accident, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Time is critical, so rely on experienced personal injury attorneys at DM Law, a leading firm through Missouri and Kansas. At DM Law, every wrong must be made right. As a dedicated personal injury practice supported by a skilled team of investigators, case managers, and medical record specialists, you pay nothing unless they win your case. As they operate on a contingency fee basis, free consultations are available. If you have been injured, do not wait. Contact DM Law today to learn how they can help you pursue the compensation you deserve. Let their team handle the case while you focus on recovery. If you have been hurt in a car accident, Call Mike. Mike's got this. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisement. Thanks to DM Law for sponsoring this video. Now, Melvin Council Jr., ladies and gentlemen, holy smokes. Melvin Council, 30 minutes, roughly 30 minutes, almost 31 minutes, was 1 of 9 from the floor. Not too impressed with that. And obviously, again, this is the first game. It's in front of an opposing crowd. You're on the road, on the same avenue. You're playing against an opponent and not your teammates. So he was out there in a different environment that they haven't been in for months, and so obviously going 1 of 9 from the floor, I definitely think he will improve on that. I'm not questioning that. He was 3 from the 3-point line, and he was 9 of 10 from the free throw line. That's what I'm super focused on. I really am excited when our team is solid from the free throw line, specifically when they drive and draw those fouls and get free points. So that's a big thing. He did finish with 11, and he would finish with 3 fouls. He did draw 7 fouls, though, ladies and gentlemen. So that tells you right there, he's driving the ball most of the time, or he's getting fouled in, out in the perimeter, close, obviously not 3 points, but in that aspect, he's getting and drawing fouls, which is a big, big thing, and I think a little different than what we've seen in years past. Now, 4 assists, he was a plus 10 in the box score. Guys, we've talked about Darryn Peterson. Ladies and gentlemen, the guy absolutely erupted tonight. Obviously, he had to follow suit with Boozer, for Duke playing and scoring almost 30 points. I think he did score 30 points in their exhibition game. Desponsa for BYU has now played 2 games. In his first game, putting up almost 30 points. Darryn Peterson did not let down, ladies and gentlemen. Roughly 25 minutes, was 9 of 15, 6 of 10 from the three-point line, 2 of 5 from the free throw line, and would score 26 points, and he was a positive 10 on the box score. I do believe we talked a little bit about him. He did he did commit 3 fouls and drew 6 fouls. That was a big thing for me. One of the big things we saw from Darryn Peterson is the drive to the hoop, and I think that's a big thing, and we'll continue to see that. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest ones that I was most excited about was Bryson Tiller. Again, Bill Self talked about him being an X factor. The athleticism as a big, being able to really kind of just be smooth with it. I kind of talked to one of my buddies and I said, there's still a little bit of Flory, who's kind of a little bit robotic. He's a little bit stiff. Bryson Tiller, who's almost relatively the exact same size as Flory, just has smooth movement to him. He's very crisp in his movements. And it just flows. And he, again, 5 of 8 from the floor. He did miss 1 3. So the fact that he even shot a 3, was 2 of 3 from the free throw line. He did have 7 rebounds, which is significant. We need boards, ladies and gentlemen. You need somebody down there banging and clanging down low and getting some rebounds. He did only have 2 fouls committed. He drew 4 fouls. He had 12 total points. Now, he only had 1 assist. He had 1 turnover. The fact that he was a positive 4 seems kind of odd to me. I do believe he had 4 blocks. And so, man, ladies and gentlemen, Bryson Tiller, something to really pay attention to. An X factor, which was highlighted from Bill Self. Now, obviously, there were other guys that got some minutes in Jamari McDowell. It was nice to see Paul Mbaya, who I really talked about, and we saw just a glimpse of Jaden Dawson. Jaden Dawson's been dealing with an injury. I do believe it's kind of some knee issue, but he only played about 3 minutes. Really didn't do a whole lot. He was a positive 2 on the box score, but Jaden Dawson, I think, is just working back into it. Now, how did the shooting go? And I think that's one of the big things. So the first half, we were 16 of 30. We were shooting 53.3% from the floor. We were 7 of 17 from the three-point range of 41.2%. And we were 7 of 9 from the free throw line for a 77.8%. Would like to see that three-pointer go up just a little bit more. Obviously, again, exhibition, knocking off the rust. I completely understand. Now, the second half, we were 12 of 26, and we kind of gave Louisville the chance to kind of work their way back into this game. I mean, we were kind of running away with it there for a while, and, there were times where guys were kind of just figuring things out, working new rotations in, so Louisville had the chance to really kind of work their way back. Again, we were 12 of 26, 46.2%. We only shot 1 of 4 from the three-point arc. in the second half, and we were 19 of 24 in the second half. So we really started to get to the free throw line, and I think that's a big thing. We actually shot 79%. I mean, we were pretty much 80% from the free throw line. In total, the game, we were 28 of 56 for 50% even. From the three-point arc, 8 of 21. Again, that's got to improve, especially with a team that has guys like Cole Rosario. I mean, Trey White's been known to hit a few. Darryn Peterson actually hit 6 of 10. For the fact that he took 10 three-pointers, that's a big time. Bryson Tiller missed one, but you had guys like Melvin Council go 0 for 3. Cole Rosario 0 for 3. Trey White did hit 2 of his 3. But you really need to start improving that three-point percentage for sure. And the free throw line, we were 26 of 33, going 78.8%. Now, this is a huge ask, but it would be nice to have us consistently staying at 80% from the free throw line. Now, one of the big things, too, that this team really did that I think is significant, and we're going to identify, is the fact that they shut down Michael Brown Jr., an absolute monster for Louisville. I mean, Michael Brown was 2 of 15 from the floor. He shot 2 of 10 from the three-point arc. He did go 4 of 4 from the free throw line. But ladies and gentlemen, he only managed 10 total points. Ryan Conwell, on the other hand, a guard for Louisville, scored 26 points. So he kind of matched exactly what Darryn Peterson did. He was 7 of 21, 3 of 12 from the three-point line. Did go to the free throw line and shot 9 of 12 from the free throw line. So Ryan Conwell was matching Darryn Peterson's play. But ladies and gentlemen, when you look at it, Louisville had 21 total turnovers to 18 for Kansas. Points scored in the paint was 34 for Kansas to only 20 for Louisville, which doesn't always mean you're working high to low. It means that there's often times where you're driving down low and you're feeding the ball to the basket. And that's really what we were seeing. Now, one of the categories that Kansas did lose was second chance points. Louisville scored 13 to Kansas' 7, and the bench was able to outscore Louisville 25 to 22 in Kansas' favor. Guys, this game, I just learned a lot. I really did. There was so much to draw from it. I'm excited for this season to really continue to grow. Again, we haven't even kicked off the official season. This was an exhibition game between two very talented programs and teams that expect to be in the postseason when that time comes. So it's just good to see two really competitive teams go head to head. I'm excited for this team in general because I was kind of nervous. And Bill Self said he was nervous too. I was nervous just because I personally didn't know what to expect. I didn't know the rotations. I didn't know what to expect from the shooting aspect. I feel like there was so much pressure put on to Darryn Peterson to go out there and perform, even though, again, it was an exhibition game. There was a lot of pressure for Darryn Peterson to go out there and perform. And so I really think that him going out there and doing exactly what we thought he would do only kind of reassures that we know he's a very, very talented freshman that is still expected to be in that top lottery pick. I mean, he's going to be probably number 1, number 2, number 3 range. There was a lot of very positive things to take from this that we're going to build on and continue to make videos on. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys saw of this basketball game. I was super impressed, guys. I really was. I could continually going on. I could start talking about certain players even more. I'm just excited to really get this thing kicked off. So let me know in the comment section what you guys thought of this basketball game. Make sure you guys smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. And as always, I end every video the exact same way. Have a good day.